Oh, you dumb now? You know who I'm talking about.
I don't know no fucking Kianna, man.
Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode. Is my weed clicking?
No, it's just a little higher.
For the camera. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Talking Street with Kianna J. I am your host, Kianna J. I bet y'all thought I was gonna do the show today because let's explain the reason of the mask, okay? So last night I went out with my stepmom, chill over there with her, and
It was pretty bad.
and we was drinking some, whatever. And I get home, my son picked me up. I got home, I'm like, let me go check the mail. I'm in a good mood, let me go check the mail. I ain't checked it in a couple days or whatever, And my driveway has a hill. Now, those of you who know me, I used to be 320 pounds or such. So I'll still walk like that. I drag my feet. I don't pick up my feet. So I'm a little tipsy and my driveway has a hill. So I'm just walking, but I'm like sliding. Mm-hmm. And I had on knees and I damn slide down there. I tripped over my slide and fell face first on the ground of my driveway. Bro, I fell hard because y'all know it's a rock bottom. It's thick as hell.
And it cracked.
It broke. It didn't crack. My bottle broke.
Was it still some liquor in it?
A whole thing.
Oh, hell no. Let me take a sip.
So, yeah, we had to, so I looked and my whole shit is fucked up. I posted a picture in my story. So for all y'all that is asking, I am okay. I am icing. My friend brought me some witch hazel. So I'm putting that on and stuff like that. Hopefully the swelling goes out. The best thing about it, I didn't break a tooth.
Praise God.
If I broke a tooth, you'll never see me smile in life. You would never see me fucking talk, let alone smile.
No, we would have got you a tooth.
Nah, I'd have quit everything.
We would have got you a tooth. I swear, I would have sold my car to get her a tooth.
I said, thank God my teeth are strong because the way I hit that ground, I thought I broke my tooth.
Yeah, I would have been crying before.
I thought I broke my tooth. I did. I thought I broke my tooth, but I didn't. I thought I broke a couple because it hit here and here.
And then probably at the bottom, you probably should be, ooh.
Hey, Josh. Hey. So that's what happened to me last night, and this is why I'm wearing a mask. Because y'all got the picture up there in the, what's it called? Let me go to the comments. Hold on. Y'all got the picture up in the
Let me see the picture.
The picture, I put it on Facebook. Wait, that's not the right one. The picture, I put it up in Facebook. Hold on, y'all. Let me get it back. I'm going to go to Facebook so you can see the picture. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. That's the picture.
Oh, Jesus.
I put that up. Shut up, Webby. Yeah, I had to fix my wig. Play too much. He always talking shit. Let me see. Let me go over here to the comments because I see him. Webby, yeah, I had to fix my wig. 320 old wig. Webby, shut up. Them first slides will get you. I ain't having them first slides, Webby.
But you know what? I fall in the house.
Yeah.
Slides, I fall.
But these are my most comfortable slides. She said, Timber. Oh, thank God your teeth. Yes, Josh. But gonna be looking like Krishan. She became famous off that teeth. I don't think I'll be able to do that though. Like Krishan from Bad Girls Club.
I don't watch that. I never got into that.
Well, it's Blueface girlfriend. She got her whole front tooth is fucking with.
Put it back. Put the tooth back down. Any means necessary. You need them.
Yeah. Okay, so that story is out the way. So yeah, I have a message. That is why. So I'm glad my breath don't stay, cause
You was next.
right. I'm here with one of my best friends, Melody. Hey, Melody girl. She was able to come to my home because she lived in Memphis also. So that's a plus one for me. You know, I'm just not down here by myself sometimes, you know. So I'm glad about that. Okay, so today's topic is teenage pregnancies. And guess what? Me and her both were teenage mothers.
It was her fault. Oh, go ahead.
She gonna forever blame me for her having them kids and that man of hers. Mm-hmm. Which, let's tell the story.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna let you start.
Okay, so Melanie was my friend in junior high. And it's around the time that my mom had shipped me to my dad. And I had started living in Milwaukee. And I ended up in a school in Milwaukee. And Mel ended up becoming my friend. She was just so nice, you know. And I was coming from something else, which I'm going to tell y'all that's the backstory on that next show. Okay, on how all this occurs. My life falls. When I say y'all don't really know me like that, y'all don't really know me like that, but that's next show. So, she became my friend. She was so nice. And after where I was coming through and coming from, you know, it was hard for me to, you know, be friendly with people, you know. So, and trust people. So she was like, hi, my name is Melanie. Now, I used to come visit my dad in Milwaukee in the summertime. And I had this boyfriend at the time up there. His name was Chris. Mm-hmm. And every time I came, you know, I hang out with my boyfriend. My boyfriend, when I moved there, had this cousin.
And the story solvers right here.
Yeah. Had this cousin. Mel was my friend. So I wanted to hang out with my friend and my boyfriend, but I didn't want my friend to be a third wheel.
So she hooked me up with the garbage. Was it the garbage?
She's so confident for her tooth gone. She can whistle with I tried to shut up. Hey, Walter. Shut up, baby. So, I didn't want my friend to be a third wheel, so my boyfriend had this cousin. Cute little, nice little light-skinned boy, right?
Oh, go ahead.
So I'm like, okay, I can hook my friend up with his cousin, and we all can hang out together. You know, I want my cake and eat it too. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I did.
I got the candles. She got the cake. Shit. This is where the story gets sour.
Okay. So we was fine. We used to have a good old time. We had a good old time, all four of us. We used to kick it, or whatever. So what happens is I end up having to move away to Mississippi. That's how y'all Mississippi and them. That's how I got down there. I ended up having to hurry up and move away. It was just a quick.
It was like
instant
flashlight.
I was in school and came home and we was packed up together.
It was quick.
Yeah, so I had to move away, and then I ain't seen Mel and them no more after that.
I still kept seeing the candles. She kept getting the cake.
So I ended up having to break up with my boyfriend, but she was still with her boyfriend that I hooked her up with, right? So let's get to the time I came to visit, and y'all was still staying in the same house. So my mom had a family picnic in Milwaukee one year, and I wanted to see my friends, and I was like, oh, I hope they still stay in the same house.
And we did.
And so I ended up going over to the house, and they were still there. And guess who was there with the baby? How old was you when you
I was 15. I got pregnant at 14 by the candles.
And I by the guy that I set up with. So I seen my friend, and she was there with her first child, which is Pumpkin. Pretty girl, pretty grown woman.
We
now.
made some beautiful children with the.
You go ahead.
That's a whole.
So let's go to how you end up pregnant at 15.
Being honest, and I still to this day blame my sister Tracy. Love her dearly, but I want to kick her ass. She ended up getting pregnant at 13. And by me being the youngest child in the house, I felt like, ooh, you know, once she brought her baby home, I was no longer the baby. Like, I was all my parents' favorite, all the grandparents' favorite. So once this kid came along, I was no longer in the picture, no longer getting toys, no longer just getting treated the way I wanted. So I said, my little fast, grown ass, I'm going to have a baby of my own. Like a stupid. Ended up breaking my virginity. Well, we actually broke each other's virginity. And I knew it. As soon as I got up, I was like, I'm pregnant. And I think I got pregnant the very first time. No, I ain't gonna say the very, maybe the 30th. Around there. But it happened so fast. I honestly don't even remember when I found out I was pregnant. I remember when my mama found out. Cause
that was my next question. How did you tell your mom, and how did they get a
chance to tell her? Now we wasn't fast girls, but we just hung out like with this, you know how you grow up in the neighborhood and all the little boys hang out with the same little girls. Mm-hmm. So my oldest sister ended up pregnant. We was pregnant at the same time. We kind of figured it out after she went to the doctor and I went to the doctor. We kind of held a secret. So she was such a crybaby. She was in the kitchen one day trying to make some pancakes. Uh-huh. And my mother was coming in and she was mad because she couldn't flip the damn pancake. Now, mind you, both of us pregnant, craving for pancakes. She was supposed to make the pancakes. And we in the midst of arguing about me helping her do pancakes. My mama coming in from work. And she was like, bitch, just make the fucking pancakes. And I'm like, I don't want to. You make them. And my mama came in just as she said, bitch, if you don't make the pancakes, I'm going to tell mama you pregnant. So I was like, bitch, I'm going to tell mama you pregnant. Y'all told on each other. We told on each other, and it was crazy from here on out. So really, my mother had a house full of grandkids all at the same time. But it was a mess. Can I go back? Can I stuff the kids back in?
Can you stuff? I need to drink and...
I'm gonna see how this work out under the mask. But you know what? It's not as bad as it was when I got it. Did you get some? But yeah, that's how it all came out. My mother was so disappointed. She was crying and oh my God, why and how? But I ended up moving out at 17 when I had a story.
Okay, so my story. Mm-hmm. I was living in Mississippi at the time with my father, you know, and I was already scared of him. I was living with him because, you know, I ended up getting in some trouble in Chicago, so I had to come and live with my dad, and which is another story again next week. But I don't know. I think my stepmama knew I was pregnant, and I was at school, and all of a sudden she came to take me to the doctor, and she took me to the doctor, and the doctor told me I was pregnant, and she dropped me back off at school. Now I'm at the school. I'm at West Cali, crying like a mother, crying. I was in my last period class, and it was Miss Jordan, and she had an attitude problem. I don't think she liked me. Probably didn't. So I was crying, and she was like, ain't no use of crying now. You did it. You laid up. So you, like, this my teacher's telling me this. She was a light-skinned lady. Uh-huh. So that's how I found out. Telling my dad, I was kind of scared. But
how did that go? Because I don't remember you ever telling me about that.
Telling my father was kind of easy. I was scared. My stepmama told him first. And then he came back in the room and he just looked at me and he was like, well, what's done is done. We just got to take care of it now. You know what I'm saying? That baby,
my daddy wanted us to get abortions.
That's what he said. My problem was telling my mom. It took me a long time to tell my mom because I thought she was going to come down there and beat the baby out of me. You know what I'm saying? So I forgot. My sister will have to tell you the story on how I told my mama because it's funny because I was so scared to tell her that when I called to tell her, it was just so dramatic and dragged out. She was upset. She was basically upset with my father because she was like, if she was here with me, she would have never got pregnant. You know what I'm saying? But she down there with you, and you just letting her do her, and that wasn't the case. No. You know what I'm saying?
Parents, they can't be in every place at all times.
Right. So, you know, that's how that ended up with me. So, you know what I'm saying? So, I got pregnant at 16, delivered at 17, and you got pregnant at?
I got pregnant at 14, had her at 15. Then I had another one at 18, and then another one at 19.
So you had 3 kids by the time you were
19 years old.
How was that?
You know what? It was crazy because it wasn't as hard as you would think. I had a big support system. My mom, my sisters, we all kind of worked together and kept each other kids. And I had my auntie, my best friends. Like, it wasn't as bad then. Like, looking back, of course, you had hard times. If I ended up moving out at 17, I had my own house. I was doing my thing. I was working, taking care of my kids, still, you know, doing here and doing everything that I need to do. But it wasn't as bad because I did have a good support system. I was still kicking. I still was able to be a teenager, but, you know, I still had to be responsible. But I had a good support system. I had, especially my auntie and my sister, my best friends. Like, if I didn't have them, I don't know what I would do because them kids probably would have been in the grass somewhere.
and that's as did I. Even though my mom was mad, you know what I'm saying. I had 2 kids by the time I was 19. You know, like I always tell people, my kids are grown now. Yeah. You know, we had them.
Praise God.
Yes. But I had 2 kids by the time I was 19. It's crazy because my kids are the first grandchildren. So when I had my kids, everybody, like all my sisters and cousins, they were little. Yeah. My sisters and my cousins, they was teenagers, they was little. So it was basically, they was happy to have new babies, and they was babysitting all the time. So I was still able to be a teenager. My mom would get my kids in the summertime.
It was different around that time because grandmothers and aunties was aunties and grandmas. Now, I ain't even know it's different.
Yeah. So, yeah, my mama used to get both of my kids like the whole summer while I was down south and she was in Chicago. She was sent for them. And then she used to send me like these big boxes of care packages.
Pampers.
Like with food and stuff, like big boxes of Christmas gifts and stuff for them and all that stuff and to help out. And then my stepmom, my aunties, my cousins, my sisters, everybody babysitted. You know, I dropped them out. So they helped raise the 2 kids that I did have because me as a teenager, you got to understand us as teenage moms, we don't know what we're doing.
At all. Because I remember fucking up Auntie's stomach, making her milk wrong. I didn't want to sit in the wake office and look at that dumbass video. I was like, I can't, I'm grown. She ended up with acid reflux, couldn't eat, throwing up, like, but now looking back, I should have just listened.
You know what? One of my friends, his name is Darnell, he told me, he's like, the hardest thing you ever did in your life was being a mother because you was a child taking care of a child.
I was.
And at the end of the day, he's like, that's another whole human being.
And then not to mention the baby daddy was a kid.
Yeah.
So it's just like you was trying to get yourself through getting a baby.
Not mine.
But you know, all men are kids.
Yeah, he was still childlike.
Yeah, they were still immature. So you was basically trying to get yourself through a certain period, raise a kid that's been a kid in that period, and then having a dumbass baby daddy.
Everybody was kids. When they be like babies raising babies, Teresa, I'm a real auntie. Forget you had a good support system. Yeah, support systems are very good because I swear to God, I think I'm gonna tell this story. So,
which one?
When I locked my baby in the car in Mississippi in 100-degree weather.
Oh my God.
We made some mistakes.
A lot of them.
And we practically probably almost killed our kids like me.
But they made it.
They made it, but did you not know?
Hell no. Well, I left Katie in Walmart on the couch while I was at work in the back seat. But he here. He made it.
I left my child in Mississippi in a car in 100-degree weather. Mind you, I was just running in the house to grab something. He was 2. He ended up locking the door.
Oh my God.
By hitting a button.
And locked himself
in the car. When I say we tried everything to try to get him out. I was in my baby daddy's mother's car at that time. And we had to call her to get a spare key.
To get him out.
But by the time she came, he was almost passed out.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
And nobody thought to break the damn window.
Well, you know, if you would have broke the window, you risk like hurting them.
Right. Yeah.
We went through some stuff though. I mean,
yeah, so it's hard to like I said, mothers, we all make mistakes. Yeah, Trees, it's crazy because a lot of times you're doing it not on your own, because you do have family there. But most of the time you are with that child as a child alone. And you gotta understand, you thinking it's a baby doll and it's not.
No,
it's different.
It do all kind of crazy shit you don't want to do, then please don't think about having a baby in the bed with you. They never want to get out. It's like, what is that? I never, even with my grandson right now, I tell my daughter, do not put that baby in the bed because they will stick to you like glue.
They attach to you. And they stay attached to you. See, they grow too.
They do.
Even when they grow, they attach to you. And it's crazy because as teenage moms, we had the support system where we were still able to go out and enjoy life. I just feel like we end up having more kids because of that.
You did because you feel like, oh, I had this one, I'm good. Let me have another one.
Right.
So it kept it going. But I'm actually glad I had my kids then because now I'm still young enough. You know, I go to work, they're like, you 41? Yeah. They still think I'm in my 20s. So it paid off. But then it was looked at as bad then. But now it's like, girl, you gone here.
She fast.
Yeah.
They was quick to call you a hoe when you was pregnant, girl.
Yeah.
I ain't even feel like it.
But now it's 40-year-olds having babies, and I'm looking at y'all like, y'all done. Y'all done. We catching flights, not diapers. No.
Yeah. So my thing is with being a teenage mom is it was very hard because again, like I was saying, it's like you taking care of a real human being, baby waking you up in the middle of the night, you interrupting your sleep, you stress. Now for a person who ain't never had to work because your parents took care of you, now you gotta go out and get a job. You ain't even graduated high school yet.
I didn't go to prom. I didn't go to homecoming. And so when it got time for my kids to get that age, I went all out because I missed all of that. Like I made sure that whatever I had to do, steal from Peter to pay Paul and rob from Robert to get them, I went all out because I missed all that. And I didn't want them to go through some of the things I did as a teen parent. But it was crazy. It was crazy. It was times that we didn't have no food, you know, because you're young, you know, you're not really able to think about.
You don't know how to take care of like the responsibilities that you need to take care of.
Right.
And you gotta understand, we're still kids ourselves. We ain't even made it out of high school yet.
Right.
Then we ain't even made. I think I was.
I had to get my GED. I dropped out 3 weeks before graduation, like a fool.
I ended up moving to Chicago, and we stayed in the suburbs at that time. And I went to this predominantly white school. When I say I started school 8 months pregnant.
Wow.
They know me as a pregnant girl in school. They didn't know me by my name. They was like, the pregnant girl, are you talking about the pregnant girl? I went into labor at that white school.
It was a school in Milwaukee. I don't know if anybody remember this. And all of the girls, like literally all the girls in my neighborhood was pregnant. We all went to Lady Pitts. It was an alternative school for pregnant teens. We all was in there. Me, my sister, both of my sisters, well, all of my sisters, Kianna, Tawana, like we all went to this school. Like it was for pregnant teens. So I guess it was kind of like that show they got now, Teens Gone Wilder.
Teen
Pregnancies, Sweet 16.
Yeah.
It was like
I'm glad I got it out the way because I don't have the patience for a baby now. No, you tell the truth. That's why I say I can't date me with small kids.
Yeah, I don't want to date you if you had a kid.
You can't put that stipulation because you got kids.
You know why you can't? Because as a woman, you're gonna take care of your business. As a man, they expect for you to do for yours and theirs. They don't take no responsibility for their children. No, I'm gonna need you to calm that head, though. I'm not that baby mama drama. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, that's what I don't want to be involved in, baby mama drama.
It's different. It's different.
But like you were saying, what we was saying, we were basically saying going to school. I went into labor because my mom was like, come up here. So when I got pregnant or whatever, she was like, come, I'll stay with my dad for a little bit, and then I went up there. She was like, come up here. So I ended up going to school. And I was 9 months pregnant, girl. I went to my set. That morning, I'm gonna tell you what happened. I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened when I went.
I'm glad you remember because I don't remember going.
When I went into labor, I remember because my mom wouldn't let me get no meds. I had Javaris natural.
Ooh.
So look, that was her teaching me a lesson.
Yeah.
So
you didn't learn it, did you?
No, I ain't learned because I know we're pregnant with Taki 2 years later. So that morning, I just felt like I had to poop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got up getting ready for school or whatever. And I felt like I had to poop, but I couldn't poop. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, dang, I don't feel good. You know,
it's time.
But I didn't know that. It wasn't bad at that time. So my mom was like, well, if you don't feel well, you can stay home from school. And I was like, I don't really want to be in this house all day. She's going to try to make me clean up and stuff. Let me just go to school. I'm like, I'll be all right. I just got to use the bathroom. Once I use it, I'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? First period, I had home ec. I'm sitting there. I forgot what we was doing at home ec. And I'm like, hey, I don't feel good. You know what I'm saying? Like, something ain't right. Second period, I was supposed to have gym, but because I was pregnant, I had study hall. And we had to substitute in study hall. So I'm like, oh, this is getting bad. You know, I'm sitting in study hall.
Was you hurting?
Now it was starting to, you know, I'm like, this is getting bad. Hold on. Like, something ain't right. You know, your body goes through so many changes when you're pregnant, so you don't know what is going on.
You don't know what to expect either.
Yeah, so nobody can describe the pain to you. That's how bad it is. You know, so I'm like, wait a minute.
I know the pain, but I'm going to describe it.
I can't describe that shit. That shit hurt like a motherfucker.
When you look at your baby daddy,
it's terrible.
That's the pain right there.
Your insides are being torn apart.
The pain is looking at your kid's body. That's the pain. He's like, why?
But I had a substitute in study hall, so I walked up to her and I'm like, first she looks me up and down and she said, how many months are you? And I said, 9. It's time and I'm 9. And I said, I don't feel good. She said, oh baby, it's time for you to go to the nurse. So I go to the nurse. The nurse looked me over and she said, you're in labor. And I said, what? So she called my mom. I think I'm gonna go to the hospital, right? My mama take me straight to the house, sit me on the couch, and say, she started timing my labor pains and saying, until they 5 minutes apart, you're gonna sit here. When I say,
shit, that shit
hurt. When I say I was in so much pain for hours, then when they became 5 minutes apart, she took me to the hospital and told them don't give her no medication. When I say,
yeah, that was absolutely terrible.
She was teaching me a lesson. Like, this is what you get for getting pregnant at her age.
But you know, labor is so bad.
It's horrible.
You could die from that pain.
It was horrible. When I say horrible, horrible. And then he didn't come till like 11 o'clock that night.
Mm-mm. See, all my deliveries was easy. 6 hours. I think like 4 hours, 47 minutes, and about 8 hours. That was it. That was it. I ain't doing no more. God was like, you got a horrible baby daddy, so I'm gonna let you chill. I'm gonna let you chill. 11 o'clock at night.
He didn't come till 11 o'clock at night. So I was in labor from that morning. I got up at 6 until 11 o'clock at night. And with no medication.
That's horrible. That was torture.
Yeah, she let them give me like to numb me for when he delivered down there.
That's horrible.
But no pain medication. So yeah, that's how I delivered my child at the age of 17 years old. Now when Tati came, I was in Mississippi. That's why she got Mississippi.
Did you get some medicine?
The first thing I did, you
give me the shit.
My mom right here.
Give me anything you got. Bring the coke. Bring the acid. Bring all that shit.
I was in Clarksville like, I want everything.
You know, mine happened so fast, Kianna did. I didn't even really ever get a chance to get medicine. I think the only one I got medicine with was Poofy. That's it, because I was in labor for 8 hours. But when they gave me the epidural, because my fool ass got scoliosis, I was feeling pain on one side and numb on the other. I'm like, should I push it? Should I hold it? What the fuck? But they had things so fast that I didn't even get to get no medicine. I was calling them bitches and hoes. The nurses, she was like, oh, baby. My first one. Oh, baby, I've heard worse. I said, well, then, hoe, give me some medicine. She was like, you're moving way too fast, and you're about to have it, so it's just over. And I was just like, whatever. But mine was fast. It was quick. I think I was blessed because God knew.
But you was so little then.
I was having a lot of sex. And my doctor,
I was having a lot of sex.
My doctor told me because I was really small. You know, I was zero.
Yeah, you were little.
And my doctor, I never forget him. He delivered 3 of my children. He said, Dr. Gerard, he was like, you're so small. I'm so afraid that you're going to break your pelvis. And I was like, what am I supposed to do? And he was like, rub. Now, this old school for real. He was like, rub down there with some olive oil. So I was doing that, and he was having lots of sex. My baby daddy done had lots of sex. He took advantage of it. I was all day, 12 times a day, on me. Like, I'm surprised I didn't get pregnant on top of the kids that I was pregnant with. But I think it did help because all of my deliveries was quick. 47 minutes. Can anybody say they've been in labor for 47 minutes? My first and my third had the exact same birthday. So I was passing out cake and my water bag was, by the time I got to the hospital, this is my third baby. By the time I got to the hospital, my head was in the hallway and my ass was in the door. The baby was out. It was done and over with. So I think God kind of blessed me. I was blessed.
Raising your kids from a baby to now. Remember, you got 4. I got 3. You had 3 by the time you were 19. I had 2 by the time I was 19. How was that experience for you?
You know what? I had a few.
Wait, stop there. Do you think teenagers get pregnant now to keep the baby dead? Let's start there.
I hope not. I hope the hell not. Because I tell my kids right now, if you want to get rid of a nigga, tell them to marry me.
No, they stick around. Let's go. They stick around while you're pregnant because that coochie is good. It's some good coochie. But if you want to get rid of them, once that baby comes,
it's over. Tell them you're pregnant. Get rid of them. So, ladies, if y'all listen, if any young women, young teenage girls, young teenage early 20s, you want to get pregnant? You want to get pregnant?
I'm gonna be honest. My baby daddy, he was there to hug. Like, he was practically living with me. Once I got pregnant, my daddy was like, you finna be over here helping her with
that's
this
what happened.
baby.
I ended up moving in my first pregnancy,
Yeah.
moving in the house with my kids. Father,
Yeah.
it was horrible. He wanted to fuck all day, every day. He took advantage of what the doctor said.
Yeah.
Because I really believe I had another baby and it was somewhere and he was just waiting to come back out. But
yeah,
it wasn't bad though.
With my two
Don't
kids, while we was down there, like me and him we were still together. So, and he even picked up like a job to help, you know. So I'm not gonna do that to him. Like when I was there, he took care of me. He did take.
Mine did too.
Try to take care of me, and then his mom and them helped out. Yeah. You know, and stuff like
I said before, I think back then you had a lot more help. Even though you were looked at as, oh, that's a fast little girl. Yeah. They all chipped in, aunties, uncles, everybody chipped in. But now, because everybody was with this, I'm independent, I'm doing me, I'm not grandma, I'm G-mom, I'm grandma. Anybody have
grandma's, let me tell you, I'm going to tell you this. I tell my kids all the time, and we're going to get back to what I asked you before, but I tell my kids, I'm still not a grandma. You a grandma now.
I am. I'm a grandmother.
I'm still not a grandma. But what I tell my kids is, let me tell y'all something. I just got done taking care of y'all. I'm not going to take care of y'all kids. I'm trying to get out here and live my life. I ain't even got a man yet. Who they going to call grandma?
We working on that. We working on that.
Who gonna call grandpa? Because grandpa spoil the kids. I do now.
They do.
Who they gonna call grandpa? Y'all just can't be having no kids on me and think now I'm really ain't gonna get married because I got your kids in here trying to raise them too.
All kind of grandkids and shit. Yeah, it's hard.
No, and then I also let them know like all my kids smoke weed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they spend a lot of money on that shit. So
how you gonna buy diapers?
How you gonna buy diapers and shit?
Smoking weed.
Cause me paying my bills and trying to take care of your kids,
it's not working.
It's not gonna work.
It's not working.
Y'all gotta
figure
this shit out.
When you do have a grandbaby, I don't care what's going on, how you feel. I was mad. I was mad as hell. Like I'm not a grandmother. I'm not set up. That's not how my life is set up. I didn't talk to Wolfie for 3 weeks, and that was the longest. Me and my kids got a wonderful relationship. But when I seen that baby, I killed her ass about that baby. You got to go about my grandson. So it's the difference. So even when they not doing right or whatever they not doing, they have a baby. All that stuff.
I just want them to be responsible enough to take care of it and be like, okay, Ma, is it okay if I drop the baby off? Can you watch it here and there? Hear it. Oh, they don't ask me.
They don't ask. What they do is, we want to come over. Like, ooh, I gotta go out. Thank God I don't live in the same city.
That's one of the reasons I moved because I said I'm gonna move, and they just can't drop them off.
Yeah,
when they have
lovely. It's lovely.
But then they moved here.
Came in like, what's that? But I promise you'll be so angry, like, they're still here. But if they have a baby count, it's gonna be totally different. Everything gonna be walking on clouds. Cause that baby just changed everything. Like it changed your whole dynamic. It's like seeing your kids all over again. And there's nothing that will piss you off. Like when I call Wolfie out, I'm like, yeah.
You nicer to the grandbaby.
Where's my grandson? She could be in a coma. Okay, good. Where's my grandson? Is he okay? Like, okay. It's a totally different feeling.
With that being said, raising your girls kind of remind me of you when you were their age.
Very responsible.
How was it raising them because Wolfie didn't have her baby as a teenager. Mm-hmm. She was 20 years old when she had her baby. Which broke a curse. Thank God. Because we don't want our kids to follow in the footsteps that we fell in. So how did you maintain? You had mostly girls. You got one boy. Mm-hmm. How did you maintain trying to keep that from happening to them?
I wasn't friends with my kids. I can answer that off of that. I was not friends with my kids, and I only remember having to discipline Pumpkin, my oldest, one time. And I think once the other two caught on to that dynamic, they was all mama ain't playing. I didn't play no boys coming over. I didn't play no you not going with boys. And then when they get 16, 17, you going on a date one of your sisters got to go with you. I wasn't playing none of that. I was not their friends. A lot of parents now, especially us young mothers, because I consider myself a young mother, they try to be their kids' friends, and that's not going to work. You're not smoking weed in my house.
Speaking of, do you feel like your mom was more your friend than a parent?
No.
Okay.
I think my mother spoiled us.
Because your house was the lit house.
And
we was every day I get home from school.
Kicking it.
I'm going back to the house.
Kicking it. I don't think my mother was our friend. I just think she spoiled us because of how she was raised. She came up in a very strict era, a very strict household, very abusive household. So she felt like, well, you know what? I'm just going to be Mary Magdalene to my kids. She was too nice. You know, like you said, all our friends came over. It was a hangout house. But we still had structure. We was never without food, never without like knowing when she gonna come home. We just had a too nice mother, if I would say. Like she was just too nice. But she was not our friend. So she laid down the law, even if she had to call our daddy to kick our ass. She did lay down the law. But I just say don't be friends with your kids. You cannot be friends with your kids.
And it's crazy because a lot of people blame the parents for what happens to the child. And you know, like you said, I got pregnant on purpose.
I did.
You know what I'm saying? Your mama couldn't have prevented that at the end of the day. And I got pregnant and my parents couldn't have prevented me because I could be outside saying I'm going somewhere else and laid up with.
That's exactly what it was. I
laid
used
up
to
with
sneak out at night.
Yeah.
I crept in and out with my mother worked third shift. So at that time when I knew she was gone, I had my little backpack and I'm climbing in his window. Because his mother didn't work, but I was climbing in his window and climbing out. By the time my mama made it home, I was already in the bed asleep. I had already done the do. Already did the doing. And, you know, it was like that, but times was just so much
different back then. Even, and imagine you, our parents were strict. Like, we had to lie and sneak. It wasn't like we just out here, okay, y'all, we finna go fuck. No, it wasn't like that.
I'm going back to the house.
I'm going back down the house, so I'm going over. At that time, when I got pregnant, Monique in them house, I'd be in Goose Pond, I'd be somewhere in Webb somewhere doing some shit I ain't got no business doing. So don't just think it don't be the parents. It don't. They did their job.
It wasn't the parents. Nowadays, it's the parents. They let their kids smoke with them, drink with them. Yeah, come on, bring Craig. And matter of fact, bring his daddy so I can screw him. It's the parents nowadays. I really think, I work with children. I counsel children. I hear so many different stories. It's an 11-year-old at my job who was pregnant, and I couldn't understand it for nothing in the world. But the mother was actually bringing guys in to sleep with the kid. Like these parents nowadays are completely different. Either they're completely different in a bad way or completely different in a good way, but nevertheless they're different. Our parents were strict, they worked hard, they actually did what they were supposed to do. We just chose to violate our freedom.
We did. That's what it was. We violated our freedom.
We did, because we was latchkey kids. We were very responsible. We violated.
We did what we supposed to do when our parents was around. But remember the party I had with my parents?
Remember the parties that we had every day. And I'm like, work third shift. It was on.
Yeah, the parties you had. But I used to get mad. My dad used to make me. My daddy was strict. I ain't even gonna lie. My daddy was strict. And I used to have to be in before dark. And that's when Melanie in them house used to stay popping. Lit. And I used to cry. And I was always stuck with my little brother, Raphael. So he was always
thought that was your baby.
Everybody said that. All my friends there thought that was. Everybody thought, but they said the reason why they stuck me with him so I wouldn't get pregnant.
Yeah.
So, but when I moved down south, I wasn't stuck with him. But when I was in Milwaukee,
it kind of worked.
It worked in Milwaukee because me and Christopher didn't have no time on. We always had a little ball right here with me. So, but your house was lit house, and I used to always it just get popping. Everybody started coming over, and I used to have to go home. And I one day I was crying to my dad like, cause I'm the oldest, and you remember my brother Jay.
All the responsibility was on.
Yeah, so my brother Jay got to stay out later than me. And he was always like, I was like, oh, see why? Because I think y'all have to have a party. And I had to go home. And Jay was still outside. And I'm like, oh my God, Jay's still outside. And my dad used to always say, because he's a boy and you a girl. And I never understood that until I got older. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And he finally said, now you see, he was like, when you got pregnant, who that baby came home with? You.
My kids say that to me now because my son is 11. And I ain't gonna lie, y'all. His daddy is super strict. I'm super not. So when he come for the summer or whatever, I be letting him cuss and, have a little fun and do. And my daughters be like, you never used to let us do it. It's different. I never understood it until I became a parent of a boy. It's different. I was letting him cuss and get his little G code on and do whatever he's gonna do because they're different. You have to understand every child has a different character and a different personality. You have to let them thrive in that. So that's why he did it.
Yeah, I never understood that because I was like, you just being mean to me, like you just treat. I swear I was just being treated so bad.
And he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing.
But I knew I used to get my daddy to loosen up when I cry. I had a soft spot in his heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, he hated to see me cry. So it was just basically like when he like, okay, you can stay out a little later, but probably an hour later or whatever. That's it. But you gotta understand, my daddy was a man too, so he knew
what was going on. He knew what was
going on. And then he was a big drug dealer back then.
That's so fine, y'all. A lot of times I used to come by her house just to see the dad.
Stay away from my dad.
But he was so fine. Ooh, Wayne. Sorry, Maxine, you're watching.
Oh, don't worry. I think my daddy done slept with a few of my friends.
Oh, that's true.
Because they thought he was so fine.
He was, Kianna. He did real nice. He was. That daddy was fine.
But he was very, when it came to strict. And it's probably because, too, the situation I came from. And me being a girl. And he wanted to make sure I was raised. Right.
Yeah. And, I mean, that's all the parents want for their kids. They want you to
be right. I think what happened was when we moved to Mississippi, in Milwaukee, he was a big drug dealer. When he moved to Mississippi, he wasn't that. He had to work.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as much time as he was at home
to really pay attention.
And then Maxine couldn't control me because she was my stepmom, and I just feel like she couldn't tell me what to do anyway. Mm-hmm. So I was
gonna do anyway.
Right. So I was just running. I got down south, had a few fights because when I first moved to Mississippi was the worst time of my fucking life. Every bitch down there wanted to fight me.
But she was cute.
I walked somewhere.
And then you was new, they didn't know you, so that comes with the tears.
Girl, my first year there, I fought every week. And then but when I first moved to Milwaukee.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I had to fight.
I tried to keep it down as much. We ain't fighting, we're nice girls. But I mean, it was what it was. You actually taught me a lot then. Before we had kids, like you got to stand up for yourself.
You got to. But you knew what. See, you at that time, you knew where I came from and why I was there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
With your bandanas. I had a cool friend.
You only want to know why I was there. So. Coming from there, so which is I keep saying that'll come next week. The story next week is gonna blow y'all fucking minds. I decided to tell it.
Refer back to that statement that was said. I'm just for fairness. I'm like, let's just be fair.
Yeah. So, but being a teenage mom, are you glad that your kids didn't take after you?
Absolutely. But now, I don't know. Because if I look back, okay, let's start here. From the guys that they had to pick from now, I'm glad they didn't. But then looking back, like I'm 41, I still look young. I still okay, my body's like that, but I still don't feel as old as I am. So it's kind of good to have your kids where you can hang out a little bit with them, and y'all can do certain things together, and then still have your life to yourself. So I don't know. I'm kind of still. I'm in the middle with that because I believe in having your kids young, so you can, still enjoy your life. Because I know some people now that's 40 and 50 and they have the kids. Their kids look like Benjamin Button.
Like they baby.
Yeah, them kids old. They got disability tags on their diapers and disabled tags. Like these kids look. The older you are having kids, the older your children look. I have an aunt. Please don't let her hear this. But she was 50-something years old and she had kids, and them kids look so old. So I'm on the fence with that. Like I want my kids to go ahead and get it out the way so they can
enjoy life.
Yeah, you can enjoy life.
But what if they enjoy life now and then be like, okay, I'm ready to get married and have kids?
Horrible. It's horrible when you're
and
old.
You gonna be too old then.
Yeah, I can't babysit because I don't want to babysit now. But I can't babysit if I'm 70 years old and you just now having kids. And the things are so your patients are different. And I just feel like at a certain age, when you get to your late 30s, early 40s, and even early 50s, that's the time for you and your mate to travel after you done worked all your life, raised children. That is the time for you and your mate, whoever you choose to have. So I'm in the middle with that. It works for some people to wait till their 30s and 40s to have kids, but them kids ugly. Them kids is ugly. Keep it real. Them kids is ugly. The older you get, the uglier and the horrible names that you have to pick from. Like, who wants to be in? No, I ain't doing that.
Well, I'm gonna say on camera, I am so proud of my kids for not having kids right now. I don't know, my daughter, she's been living with her boyfriend for the last few years and they ain't had no babies, and I'm proud of them for that because I don't think they're ready for kids.
Yeah, and she probably just don't mate with him either.
And the crazy part about it is, I think when she seen your daughter have her baby, they tried to traumatize her.
Like, oh no, I ain't doing that. It was horrific. It was something horrific.
Oh,
it was bad.
Let me tell you, her daughter is like this small.
She was a zero, a negative zero.
And when I say we was on video and her daughter was delivering her, mind you, her daughter is 20 years old. She's not saying like delivering this baby. When I say I was in tears. I felt so bad for that girl delivering that baby.
It was awful. It was like something out of
She was going through so much, and I'm like, they gonna kill her.
And ended up having to have a C-section with no medication.
She kept passing out from the pain.
It was awful.
It was horrible.
It was awful.
I was just like, oh my God. And I think my daughter, my daughter was there.
Traumatized.
And she was like, I don't think I want to have no kids.
Hell no. Let me tell you, honestly, pregnancy and labor is the easiest job about being a parent. But that pain, I was in here 4 times. It's absolutely horrible.
That's what men don't understand. They be like, oh, it's probably just like period pain. No.
The worst pain, just imagine your worst pain times 12. Like, you say
you be thinking you about to die.
No, you die.
And women actually die. Black women especially actually die from childbirth. Number one to die from childbirth. But
you die.
And
then you come back.
You think God is taking your life at that point in time. That's how bad that pain is. And it's pretty bad. It's just like,
especially being young, because
I feel like I can take any pain if I dealt with that.
Ooh, I don't know.
I'm strong. Like when I fell on my face last night, it hurt. But
that might just be as bad though. You gotta think about the physical pain and then the mental pain. You look at it, they're like,
oh, bitch.
That's a lot.
You know how I am about this. I don't even let people touch this.
Kianna.
So look, she walked up. Wait, let me tell you. So last night was the picture I posted last night, right? Okay, it wasn't as big. So I was up all night because I was kind of distraught about my face, right? So I'm up all night. I go to sleep. I wake up And my son, he comes in the room and he just looking. I'm like, why you looking at me? Nah, I ain't looked at him and looked at myself right. So I'm like, why are you looking at me like that?
Like these
He's like, have you seen that?
It's bad.
And then he say, then my daughter, I look at my phone, I see the text message. My daughter's like, what you drunk? I was like, not really, but I'm clumsy.
Yeah.
I'm real clumsy. So, I failed.
But in a few days, it'll be better.
Yeah, she gonna say, I sent her a picture of it now, and she like, dang, my bad, mama, but it just comes out.
Let me find out she got your ass whooped in the parking lot.
I said, don't you be cussing. She like, my bad, call me off.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, but I feel like God spared you. Because it could have been worse.
It could have been my
your
teeth.
You could have split all of this. Mm-hmm. It could have just been really bad. Like your tooth could have came through your lip. Mm-hmm. It could have been really bad. But,
it looked like somebody whooped my ass.
It do. It looked like you get hit straight. Just tell me, friend.
You know me better than that.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody know me better than
whole
that.
Motherfucker box.
Everybody know. Nick put his hands on me.
He
put his hands on another.
But yeah, keep using that. Which has it's gonna go down. It's getting better. It got better. Like literally after you did, I seen some of the swelling go down. She was like Mo on The Simpsons, the bartender. How he lived. That's how it looked. You got a little Mo on it.
Teenage pregnancy. It's a spider on that wall.
You want us to have some money. That's what that is. He said, have some money to buy some diapers.
Okay. Teenage pregnancy. Any regrets? Say if you had to do your life over.
I would not have any children. And if I did, I still would have the same kids, but with a completely different guy. Yeah.
You would not have the same kids with a different guy. Yes, so I'm a true believer in, because some people can't have kids with certain people, but when they get with another person, they end up having kids. Because you can have sex with a mug for years and years and years and years
not get pregnant.
And not get pregnant. As soon as you get with somebody, you get pregnant. And I feel like God is the reason. God put you with that to have that baby.
I just don't know what's the reason, God.
You have all your kids by one nigga that you cannot stand.
God needs to reveal it. Maybe my son will be the president. Because he is really smart. I need to figure it out right now because.
And it's crazy because y'all kept breaking up for like years and then y'all come back.
Every time I looked at him, I got pregnant. Every time. I'm scared.
So that means your kids was meant to be down here.
They was meant. But
now you crazy as shit.
But Kianna, I swear to God, like if I could do it all over again, I probably would not have any children. Being a mother is the hardest job in the world. It's actually easier when they're younger because you can pick and choose their friends, you can pick and choose what they eat, where they go, what they wear. When they grown, you can only hope and pray that you gave them enough information and raised them right to make the right decisions, even when you're not around. And I'm so glad that my kids choose to call me first. I'm so glad. But if I could do it all over again, not him. The best part of him rolled down his daddy balls and made it stain on the sheet. I'm convinced. He is the worst person in the world. Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go find that sheet and try to rebuild that motherfucker because he is awful. He is a bitter bitch. I'm serious. Like he's disgusting. Like he's the worst person in the world. People, I know y'all probably look at me like she just mad. No, he would be like, you forced me. No, this man is the worst. Matter of fact, Ben Laden was his cousin. What's the Hitler? Hitler was his daddy. Hitler is his daddy. Hitler is his daddy. Anytime you could be on a job with your kids and nobody knows they're your children, you're Hitler. You have Hitler's blood. I'm convinced.
Oh my God. Oh, is it that bad?
Kia.
Well,
And she introduced me to him. But no, seriously, he is terrible.
I am responsible for her being with him. I am responsible for her having these kids. I am responsible because I want to hang out with my boyfriend and my friend.
You actually are.
I was being selfish.
I always call her. But I'm gonna let it ride, though. I'm gonna let it ride. Because she's a really, really good friend. She ride or die. But on my headstone, I'll be like, I owe you one. That's it.
But you never know who people grow up into, you know what I'm saying? Because he was, when we was younger, we had fun. He was a good dude, you know what I'm saying?
You know what? We never got along, though. We never did. We never got along. The only time we got along is when my parents were down.
Really?
I promise you, we hated each other. We hated each other.
How y'all was together in a relationship?
The sex. That's the stupid thing about being a teen mom. You think that this is the only penis that is good in the world. Boy, was I wrong. We had good sex, but we hated each other. I hate him. He hates me. And I'm, it is what it is. But we had awesome sex and we made good babies. That was it. But that's Hitler. I'm convinced. Reincarnated.
I'm not going to pray with you today.
Kianna, I swear to God. I have never met a worse person. Ever. 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 He's the worst person in the world.
I witnessed that a couple months ago.
He's the worst person in the world. He's the biggest. I think he birthed all the narcissists in the world. Like, he's the father of all narcissists. People like he's terrible. He's a horrible person.
Well, I just feel like now that the kids are older and stuff for the little, what made you go back at all your kids was teenagers, about to be grown. What made you go back and say,
he drugged me
and have another baby?
He drugged me.
Now you ain't even got it. I'm thinking you should have been finished before me. Your kids grown.
See what happened.
And you got a
this is what happened, y'all.
She got an 11-year-old. Mind you, her oldest
26.
And how old is the other one?
22 and 23. But listen, I was taking the garbage out, right? I was taking the garbage out. He was like, yo. I ain't even see him. I ain't even look back because I don't yell at. I don't look back at yo. He pushed me down, blindfolded me. It was like, bitch, get rid of the garbage. I got rid of the garbage and I woke up pregnant. That's the story, and I'm sticking to it. That's what happened. That's exactly what happened. And I woke up pregnant, and it was too late. That's what happened.
And you always tell me, don't have no more kids.
Don't have no more kids.
I wasn't planning on. After I had once Fat Baby, my youngest son, got here, I went and got tied, clipped, and snipped.
I should have been right there with you. We should have had a twin.
Tied, clipped, and snipped, baby. I knew because I said I wasn't gonna let another man stick me with no damn other child.
Yeah, man, it's horrible.
Right
now, I would be done.
I made that commitment to myself. Like,
well, what was you at when you was committed? Because we should have had the same book.
When I had
the same Bible.
When I had Fat Baby. When I had Fat Baby.
I should never take. I don't take the garbage out now. Did I tell you that? I don't touch garbage. I don't take it out. I don't even say garbage. I don't do it.
So I made a promise to myself. So when I go on dates and men be like, I don't have children, I be like, are you planning on do you want to have any?
Right.
And then they be like, yeah, I do want to have kids. I was like, I'll break it off right there now. I'm not the one for you.
Keep it moving.
I'm not the one for you. I think my last, you call it SpongeBob. So the dude I was dating in Milwaukee,
he wanted kids, didn't he?
He wanted me to have a baby. And he said, he was like, I'm going to trap you. I want you to, that's exactly what he said. He like, I want to trap you. He told me. And I told him, I said, I'm untrappable.
I'm locked up. out.
I can't do that for you, homie. And I think that was the turn of the okay, you can't have a baby.
That's a good thing.
I still kick it with you, but I'm gonna go elsewhere.
Yeah.
So he ended up having a baby with somebody else and getting married to that person. But
everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Everything. I don't care what you do. Everything happens for a reason. Like taking out the garbage. Shit. I would never do it. Every time I took out the garbage, I came back pregnant. So you did the right thing.
Yeah, I told my ever since then, like I told my guy, like if you plan on having kids, I'm not the one for you.
Yeah.
Especially now because my whole insides are gone. So yeah, no.
Again, you should have had that twin surgery.
The best friend thing, and she constantly keep doing the person that I was talking to about my surgery, me and him don't even speak no more.
So you left me out again.
Yeah, it was
taking out garbage and shit.
Yeah, well,
I was taking out garbage and she was getting out the garbage. Like, what the fuck?
No, I don't. And the crazy part is when I first I had a black doctor when I went and got my tubes tied and burnt the clip. I had a black doctor and she used to try to talk me out of it. She was like, what if you get married and y'all want to have a kid together?
Get a dog.
I said, ma'am, at the end of the day, Dr. Lady, I call my doctors Dr. Ladies. Dr. Lady, I just can't because I'm getting tired of being stuck with these kids.
Yeah. They moved. Well, I'm gonna say my kid's father moved on. He really did want to make it work, but the fact that we didn't get along, I just had to let him go. And he was a good father when I was fucking him and when I was with him. But as soon as I cut it off,
and that's where the problem comes in. We're not saying that they wasn't there when we was together.
Yeah, they was.
But when we decided to walk away from the relationship, it was like, okay.
They became, what's that man? Casper.
Yeah,
Casper the ghost.
You end up taking care of your children by yourself. And the help of your family and friends. Because, baby, when a man is not with the woman that he wants to be with and you just decide to walk away because their relationship doesn't work, you can forget about him taking care of them, helping you take care of them kids.
I remember when I was
because if he can't have you, he ain't dealing with them kids.
Kianna, I remember when I was pregnant with my son, and I had the worst. My last pregnancy was the worst because I also had cancer at the time. And I remember asking this man for some apple juice and a soda. He pulled out a wad of money, but we went together. I broke it off with him. A wad of money, girl, it had to be like $2,000-$3,000 and gave me $1. And said, don't spend it all at this one time. That's what he said.
He gave you $1?
$1, bro. He peeled back so many 50s, 20s, 100s, and gave me $1. All because I was not with him. He said, don't spend it. I'm still waiting on my apple juice. And he's 11 years old. He was
ain't no way.
Horrible. Because I wouldn't keep giving my stuff to you.
Right.
He was horrible. But it wasn't as bad. Like with the girls, it wasn't as bad at all. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, because technically you was still with him. A little bit.
The first two, yeah. The first two, like he was off and on fighting, and I was spitting on him and stuff, and doing all type of dumb shit. But he was horrible. He was a horrible person.
But when you not went with the man, just be prepared. Some of us. And it's the type of man we picked, but we picked young. Again, we was kids. You know what I'm saying? A lot of men nowadays be like, y'all complain about the men y'all dated. Y'all pick these men. We want children.
Yeah, we didn't know.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody can, act like they loved us. We loved them too. Shit.
We didn't know anything. And what's so crazy is I had 2 dads. And they were the best dads that they could be. Mm-hmm. They were workers. They were providers. They, showed us how to do all the stuff that they should have showed a guy, but they didn't have any boys. But they were the best dads, and I can't figure out to this day why did I pick such a bastard. Like I can't figure that out for nothing.
And don't get me wrong. I have a lot of male friends that are great fathers to their kids, and some of the mothers won't even let them be fully involved. And they taking people to court, trying to get, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Trying to get and maybe a great father is still on child support.
And not sleeping with the mamas, and
Yeah.
they still do right for their kids.
Yeah. And so now, I'm not saying everybody, but I'm saying what we a lot of times when you're not with that man, you're gonna become a single mother taking care of your kids financially. And
especially if your coochie was good.
And I'm the type of person I never knew how to be single. This is my first time ever being single in my life.
That's true.
And I never knew really how to be single. I always had a boyfriend, and it's always been a long-term relationship. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, I'm a vibe anyway it go. You know what I'm saying? It's just every one of them that I mess with have tried to leave me back, and it just once I'm over you, I'm over you.
It's done over.
Yeah, it's over. Ain't no. I don't want you. Right. My first baby did his little girlfriend think I want him. No, baby, his wife moving. He's just for you, baby. You don't have to turn your nose up every time you fucking see me. And I'm saying this, if you're watching this, I do not want your husband, okay? Oh. My kids barely even want him, but okay.
I don't even see what.
But it's just like, with that being said, I just feel like I'm the type of person, I didn't put none of them on child support.
Me neither.
I just felt like I laid down and had them. I have to take care of them. I have to take care of them. And then, with that being said, the kids grow up and realize who was really there for them. So I let my kids make their own decision for you.
I think we've talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the mistakes that I did make, I talked bad about my kids' father to them.
I did.
I told them the truth. I've always been a realist, and I don't even regret it. I really don't, because I never got.
But I do have a secret.
What you do?
Okay. I have a secret. I'll have to say it.
Come on, let's see it.
Okay. So I made a mistake when I was younger. My oldest son, technically his daddy is the dude I was dating at the time, because he did sign a birth certificate, and he was there and he kind of met his son. But at that time, yeah, you know. Okay. I told him when he was 15.
Okay.
So at that time, me and my baby daddy had got into a fight. And he made me walk home. Now, this was before I got pregnant. He made me walk home from Webb to Goose Pond at night. You know what I'm saying? And I was crying. So my daddy had this friend who had seen me walking and had picked me up.
When did I do you?
And I was just crying. And you know what I'm saying? I was very vulnerable. We ended up doing the do.
Your daddy friend?
Yeah. He was my dad friend.
Was it good?
I don't remember, girl.
Thought that was the secret.
But I ended up getting pregnant. Mind you, I was with my baby daddy too. So, but I didn't know. I thought it was
juicy. Y'all need to really tune in.
I thought it was my boyfriends at the time.
Did you ever find out?
Later on, what happened was my son was like 4-ish. Now, this is what messy family and shit come in at, okay? So my son was like 4-ish. He was staying down there with his father and stuff. And he was starting to develop into his looks a little bit. He looked exactly like the dude. So he started to develop in his look. This was messy family and stuff come in. I wasn't there. No, Gerard, the oldest one. Yeah. So I wasn't there. He was down there. I was staying with his grandma and his daddy. The one that's on birth certificate or whatever. And there was a bunch of rumors going around. That ain't his baby. He looked just like woo-woo. Now this coming from family. So the baby daddy, my original baby daddy, the one who taking care of my child, called me. And he like, you had something to tell me? he called me and he said, "Do you have something to tell me?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" Ooh.
What did you say?
Hold on, let's tell you the story. And then he said, "Is this my son?" And I kind of paused. You know what I'm saying? And I just was honest. I was like, you know what? I always been honest, you know. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? At the time, I thought it was yours. Yeah. At the time. Now that he's coming into his looks,
I see the difference.
I see that he's probably not yours.
Won't sit.
That man told me, he said, regardless, that's why people don't understand, like, even though me and him don't speak on a regular, we'll never be on bad terms. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We don't speak at all. You know what I'm saying? But we would never be on bad terms because he told me, he said on that phone, he said, "I don't even care." He said, "That's still my son."
That's a real man though.
That's still my child.
My baby daddy probably would have shot me in my head, buried me, took me out of the ground, woke me back up and killed me again.
But I say, people make mistakes. I fucked up. And I really thought he was my... That's one thing I would take back. Yeah. I definitely would take back.
I would take back the sperm that I got from him.
You know what I'm saying?
I would give it back.
But he is the father of my daughter also, so... You know,
I didn't know that. Yeah.
You
told me that before.
I did. Not registered. It didn't register, but nobody. You know, now that I post him on Facebook a lot, and he do look like the other guy,
it started to be clear.
Is people kidding me? Is that such and such baby? Is that such and such?
Mind your business.
You know, y'all can see who he look like. The fuck, like, you know, but he don't take care of him, so.
What the hell?
Like, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they my kids. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't care. They my kids. I take care of them. I always took care of them. So, hey, I bet you they belong to me. Bet you that.
They do.
They all came out.
First time they say, "Mom," all day long.
Kids get grown and still holler, "Mom."
My kids still sleep in the bed with me when they come to see me, or when I come to see them, they still, I get on their house, they get on the pallet or the couch, they right there. Mom.
But yeah, so y'all call me what you want. I don't care because I'm the person that don't care what people think of me.
Me neither.
You know, we make mistakes in our lives, and
that's what comes along with life, being a teen mom, being a mom, is life. Mm-hmm. You know, you have to live up to everything you do. I try not to regret anything. I mean, life is, if we had time to sit here and talk about everything that we've been through as a teen mom, as an adult mom, as grandparents, it would be such a good show because a lot of people can see, I would never, but we all can relate one way or another to the different things and the different dynamics of being a parent. It's a hard job. We need to get paid for it. Have your kids young. Get it out the way, because I don't look 41. Do we look 40?
You can't tell by my mask, but y'all see my picture.
We gonna keep that up.
I actually look like, not now. I don't, but I actually look like my pictures in real life.
Yeah,
but not now.
I'm so glad that I was a teen mom. I'm glad that I endured everything that I went through, the struggles that I went through, because they made me the person that I am.
Are you glad that you didn't get on any drugs? Sometimes I see why people do crack.
I'm going through it right now because I cannot believe that I survived everything that I made it through. I had cancer, raising children on my own. I've been raped. I've been molested. I've been through so much.
It can break you. It can break you, and it have broken me a few times. Yeah. And I have been through postpartum
depression. Yeah, I had it with my third child.
Yeah, I've been through when it comes to raising. I had to drop out of school.
Me too.
I had to go through a lot. I had to do a lot and then try to keep a relationship and then try to take care of your kids.
I sold drugs to take care of mine. A lot of people were like, "Oh, that sweet girl." No, I done did it all. Stole from Peter to pay Paul, Robert to pay. You do it all.
Had to move constantly because you couldn't pay your rent.
You had to do everything you had to do. You had to go through. And at the end of the day, when you look down at your kids and you see them making it through some of the things that you probably wouldn't have made it through, you be like, okay, I did something right, you know.
But you know what? We give them the tools where they probably don't have to go through a lot of what we did. And like my sister was saying last week, y'all don't see the tears. The kids don't see the tears. They don't see the things that we have to do, or sometimes we need to do to provide
for our children,
for them. And that's the thing. Like
and the biggest thing, Kianna, people used to be like, you know, saying no. And I used to tell my kids, I didn't never say no because I didn't want you to have it. I said no because I couldn't afford to give it to you.
Yeah.
That was the hardest part for me, you know, saying no because I couldn't afford or provide it. That was the hardest thing for me.
Yeah. And I just felt like, which coincided with what I was talking about last week, is I had to work a whole lot.
Hell yeah.
So I was never at home.
Mm-hmm.
I had to work those shifts. I was never at home. But the kids at that age, they don't appreciate it at that age because they don't understand.
Yeah.
And they don't understand like these new shoes, these new clothes, these birthdays, these Christmases, and
they came off the front of your back.
That you happy to get it. You not a bum in school. You not none of that. So how you think we get it?
Yeah.
Y'all crying about the time that we're not there.
Yeah.
But how you think? We're not there just not to be there.
Yeah. I say to people, mothers do not choose to do what they do to their children because they're just children. They have to. You either say they're gonna eat, or I'm gonna be playing house.
Oh, we gonna be homeless.
Right.
We're gonna be bums.
I'm gonna be sitting here playing little Uno with you, and you gonna eat, or you have a roof over your head. You've always gonna choose what's best for them, and they don't understand that.
And our parents had to do it for us. Yeah. You know, we didn't see their tears as when we was teenagers and kids. We didn't appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't see their tears. We didn't see what they had to go through to adulthood.
It's ghetto.
It's not okay.
It's ghetto. It's the first thing I'm on anxiety medicine right now. It's still.
And when you have to become an adult at a young age, it's even worse. She said, "How your kids young?"
I do.
I say, "Don't do it until you're ready."
Because hard.
I don't want you to struggle. Because, like you said, nowadays the parents are out partying more than the kids.
Yeah.
So the support system is not there anymore.
You know why I say that? Have your kids young, because as a married woman, we are still single. So whether you wait or not, hell yeah,
married women are still single mothers.
Still, because even if they're providing, they don't do anything else. When they come home, they kick their shoes off, and their day is done. You still helping them.
I've been hearing that a lot.
Still folding and washing clothes. You still cleaning the house. I have a very mentally physical job. Like, it really drains me. When I come home, I'm responsible for everything else. They don't do that. You turn on the TV, get your shoes off, and you like, sometimes I don't get home till 8, 9 o'clock at night, and you be like, well, you ain't bring me nothing to eat, motherfucker. So it's just like, it really don't even matter when you have the kids, because the struggle is still going to be there unless you have a different kind of guy. Most men days are done when they come home. So it's just like, you might as well get your kids out the way while you're young, and then you're able to just scream at him with no kids in the house when you get older. Because you still don't have to raise a kid. Men are children.
Yeah.
He don't even know how to turn them.
I always say men are like kids.
They are. You know, he broke his finger, and he's just acting like he just dead. Like, and I'm like, he walking through the house with ice dripping. And I'm like, you go get a child.
Us as mothers and wives and girlfriends, we be sick, still cooking dinner, trying to take care of the dead.
Not to mention you on your period. You got all this shit to get done for work. You know, you got a headache, you blow, you got an attitude. You still have to do everything in the house. Like, you might as well just have the kids young, so when you get in your 40s, your 50s, you can just ticket and travel, and then argue with them alone. The kids don't need to see that anyway.
Yeah, I understand that. I do. I understand that, and it's crazy because you shouldn't have to be. I've been hearing that a lot on social media.
It's so true.
Like, married women are still single parents.
You single still because if you cut out that person, what they call me, cut them out. That's just one less thing you gotta do. You don't have to wash their clothes. You don't have to feed them. You don't have to clean up behind them. You might as well just be.
That is crazy.
You might as well just be single.
And the things I hear from y'all is crazy because me, I've never been married.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
And that's crazy because it's just like I'm very skeptical.
Be scared,
myself into.
Be nervous, do all those things, all the negative things associated with all of them. Because it's something else.
It's crazy. But like I said, if I was to ever, I don't have small kids, and before I do walk down the aisle, we're gonna have an understanding that this is just.
How about this? Don't even get it out. Fuck that. No, I don't know what is wrong with these men.
I just feel like, my spouse has to be on the same accord. We have to be on the same accord.
They do. They fool you. And then when that aisle is created, it's just saying. I think these people now are just so spoiled, right? They're right into the core. That's why now I teach my son how to bathe correctly. You taking out the garbage. I show him how to open the door. Like if I'm with my son, I ain't open the door. You have to train these men to be men, be the men.
Yeah, I ain't teach my kids how to open doors.
You have to.
I ain't teach them that. But it's because, let me tell you, it's because I ain't started getting my door opening for me until I moved down here.
Yeah, now that, and once I got to
so that, when a motherfucker come around and open your door for you, it's like, what? It made my stomach tingle. Like,
that's the coochie. It feels like it's the stomach because we old and we got all this, but it be the coochie, the tingle. But I literally, my son is 11. I show what my husband do, show him how to, mow the grass and all that. But you have to teach them young because when they get to 45 and 41, they're horrible people. If they're not taught that.
Yeah.
They're horrible husbands, they're horrible baby daddies, they're horrible people if you don't show them how to be. Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
And I communicate, all that crying.
That's what I'm trying to teach them, how to communicate.
Got to.
Because men need to learn how to communicate. But that opening door, I dropped the ball on that because now I'm getting it done for me, and it's just like every time I get it done, I feel like I just feel so girly. I'm not the girly type. But I turn it real girly when that door get open.
See, my dad, both of my dads did stuff like that. Maybe not to my mom. But when we was with them, they did stuff like that. They showed us what we was supposed to have. And I'm not going to lie, my kid's father was an awesome person when we was together. But outside of that, no, you had to teach your children, even the women, you have to give them tools to become good wives and the sons to give them tools to be gentlemen and good fathers.
Hey, Keisha.
What Keisha them talking about?
Yeah, no, they just coming in and saying, hey.
Yeah, you have to prepare your children, even if you're a young mother. If you don't have that from your background, there's no way possible that you can pass that type of information and lessons to your children. And those are so important because these husbands, y'all.
And that's another thing, like with raising kids at a young age, especially if something is not being done for you, you really don't teach.
You don't know. You don't know.
Like even things like cooking.
Yeah.
Like I won't eat a lot of people's food if they don't cook like my mom.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm picky too.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like my mom is the best cook in the world. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That's the way I feel. And if your food don't taste like hers, it just be like.
I don't eat plates. Like, when somebody, girl, why don't you take a plate? I'm
yeah.
Not eating
and my kids are the same way. My kids eat anything I cook.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't care if I experiment and I experiment. They gonna eat it because they like the way I cook. Yeah. I think because that's the way we grew up, you know what I'm saying? Your big mama, my big mama, I love her food. My grandmother stay cook for us, you know what I'm saying? So we adjusted to what we grew up in, and that's how we, you know what I'm saying? Like I said last week, I raised my kids with an iron fist. People were like, "Oh, you abusing them kids." No, my kids gonna respect me.
They need to ask them.
Yeah, my kids gonna respect me. They ain't out here cutting up as children in a grocery store.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I know you have to talk to your kids before you get in there. Don't ask for shit.
Don't touch nothing. Or they didn't, you know what I'm saying? They don't buck up at me. Mm-hmm. I don't get no eye rolls. I don't get no talkbacks. Let me tell y'all something. And y'all seen my boys. They don't play with me. They don't play with me.
They should have beat that driveway
up. They can't beat the driveway up, but if a nigga ever think he gonna buck up at me in front of my sons, it's over with. That's why I say I probably wouldn't get a man up in here right now because I got 2 grown ass niggas up in here and they ain't gonna play with them. So,
but that just means they gotta come correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, come correct. You know, any man is for you, and they know that you have gentlemen and young men and sons. They gonna come correct. They have no choice but to come correct. So you don't need them if they don't come right no way.
Yeah, that's true too. But I would just wait till they go and move on out so I can mom get a groove back. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's almost been a year. A couple more days and be a year.
That is terrible, Kianna. We need to have a show about cobwebs on your ass. That is terrible. Like, I'm gonna be Dr. Phil. How does it feel?
It feels like
terrible.
Sometimes I be a little cranky, you know.
I will be stabbing everybody in here.
But the roses help them a little bit.
You know, I started to order one the other day, and I just...
Girl, I used it the other day, and my leg cracked up so motherfucking bad. Okay, wait.
Wait, is it good? Like everybody...
Girl, because the different settings, and I done tried to set it before. I'm like,
wait, is it really like people say, like, you only get 2 seconds?
Girl, but I couldn't feel it. I couldn't turn it off. So, but you know how your legs start to straight. Yeah. It was so funny. And I was like, ooh, and I couldn't be loud.
That's worse. You can't even let it out. That is terrible.
And I was like, wait, and my legs start cramping. But I couldn't turn it on because I was about to, get into it.
That is horrible. So, you said I should order me one.
Go ahead.
Ooh, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna call you like, ooh, get the leg.
I was just saying the 5 seconds, leave alone. Leave them bitches where they at.
So wait, it's like multiple settings?
Yes, girl. Oh my God. But it's been helping. It helped me get through this year. I'm not proud of myself. I made it to a year.
That's a long time. I don't think I've ever been.
And what helped me? Okay, so before last year October, one of the guys I was talking to came to see me, and we got it last year October.
Oh, that's so long.
But then, he had came all the way to Milwaukee or whatever. So, but then I found out I had stopped talking to him because he had started wanting to come all the time. Like, I'ma just have my route.
Do you still have his number?
He drives trucks. So he was like, I'ma just have my route come that way so I can see you or whatever.
Do you still?
But then I found out that he had a whole girlfriend at the house. So I'm like, do you?
Your girlfriend is single. You ain't.
I am trying not to mess up nobody's home.
That ain't messing up your home. You still single.
So when he had the next week, mind you, the week we had gotten in. The next week he called me and was like, I'm back. But I never answered the phone because I had found out about the girlfriend. It was always good. Me and him been doing this for 3 years.
So you do know the definition of single is not married.
I just the type of person
do
like,
know.
if I'm single, I want you to be single. That's me. Like,
But
that's
you do
me.
know it's been a year.
Since him, yes, it's been a year.
That is terrible.
Because I didn't answer the phone from last week. So
you know
when
it's
I,
Halloween, so you can just take your bats this between your legs and hang them on your.
Yeah. That last week he had called and I didn't answer and he had blocked me on social media. So he's really upset with me. So he don't talk to me at all anymore.
Because you didn't call him.
When he made it into town,
You didn't call him.
I didn't call him. He
So
called
he's
me.
saying-
He called me, but I didn't answer.
So he's saying that he is not married. And you should have called. That's what
So
I'm saying.
it's been a year then I had to start talking back to my friend. You know the friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. But me and him ain't did nothing in years. We just keep
It was time.
And then, so no.
It was time.
October.
You know,
17th
the old
will be
saying
here.
is, let me see.
October 17th.
If you don't use it, you lose it. Did you ever hear that?
It's still there.
No, it's not.
It's still there.
It is scientifically proven. If you don't use it, you will lose it. You will. You need to use that thing. We're not as young as we used to be no more. So if you don't, it's gonna be gone. And I'm gonna be laughing. I'm gonna laugh.
The rose is helping me keep it,
There's nothing in there. The rose is just protecting the outside. You have to actually put something in there.
And another reason is because of my surgery. I'm scared.
It's okay. Even your doctor said it was okay. I'm sorry. Maybe that's just me, but I'm okay.
So that's another reason I'm kind of like, I just want, if I do it, I don't want it to be like roughly.
Oh, no, you just tell them it's on the calm down. It's not going nowhere. It's right here. Just be right here. Don't go down south, even though we down south. Don't take it to Arkansas. Stay right here. You need to know him, for real.
Well, I don't got nobody to do it with now.
Well, come, it's mailman, UPS drivers, it's FedEx, it's cable guys. It's 2022. I'm sorry. Cable guys are really good at her. They're really good. Didn't you say your Wi-Fi was acting up?
I got it fixed, and the guy that can't fix it when they keep.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know how we got to this.
Them damn kids.
Damn kids.
Them damn kids.
Well, y'all, that was nice. What I'm gonna say is teenage motherhood is not fun. So 16 and pregnant people was getting pregnant just to be on that show and realize that it wasn't all pregnant.
But you know what? We should have been on the show because we would have had some money then.
They ain't come out till we older.
I know, but we should have created that shit.
We should have.
We should have. Because I need some money for my story.
But being a teenager pregnant is not for what it's cracked up to be. I'm glad that our kids are following our footsteps.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm really grateful for that. So I'm 42 without being a grandmama, and she's a grandma.
No, I'm a granny.
Oh, she's a granny.
My girlfriend said, Granny.
But they you know, you be able to enjoy them because, you know, it is what it is. But I thank y'all for tuning in to another episode. And for everybody that's inboxing me about this, I appreciate y'all. I am okay. My teeth are in my mouth.
And the guys, inbox her now because she needs help with the lower part. The lower part, not the top. Go ahead, say it again.
But this should be healed up in about a week or two. So it was me being clumsy and my first time ever falling on my face like this. So
No, actually, it wasn't.
it was.
It was the fourth time because you had 3 kids. You fell on your face 3 times before.
I love you guys. I'm tired of your shit. We finna finish drinking. I gotta cook too.
What you cooking?
I'm cooking fry some chicken with some macaroni and cheese and stuff.
Yeah, we're still early. Let's eat.
Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Talking Cheap. Next week will be my gang days. My gang, remember me joining the gang, how did that play out for me, how I ended up in the gang, and the story behind it. So, like I said before, y'all don't know me. Like y'all think y'all know me. I always ask, do you know who I am? And people are like, yeah, we know who you are. No, you don't. It's a lot of parts to this. She met me when I was trying to come out of that phase. So, my mom and them mentioned it last week my mom and my sister mentioned it in the show I did last week. So I decided, since they brought it up, I decided to go on and tell my story about it. Okay. So next week will be that story. Thank y'all, and I love you guys. If nobody told y'all today, I'm gonna tell you I love you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Melanie. Bye.
I feel so bad.
No, you don't.
I don't. I don't know.
No.